So good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So today I am here to take a presentation on Essay 701, that is communicating keyword matters in the independent auditor's report. Am I audible to you all?
Yes.
Yes.
So these are the topics that I will be discussing in detail. First of all, I will be discussing important standards that I have referred with respect to keyword matter. Then structure of audit report. Then Essay 701, that is communicating keyword matter in the independent auditor's report and its applicability, objective, purpose, determining CAM, communicating CAM, then its documentation. Then Essay 706, that is emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph. Then difference between emphasis of matter and keyword matter. And finally, I will be discussing an audit report. So let us begin with important standard that I have referred for the keyword matter purpose. I may not be discussing this standard in detail. I will just give an outline of this each standard. So SA 200, that is overall objective of independent auditor and the conduct of an audit in accordance with standards on auditing. So this standard talks about the overall objective of an independent auditor. What is the overall objective? To obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from material misstatement, and to report on the financial statement and to communicate it as per required essays. So to attain this objective, the auditor has to maintain certain requirements like integrity, objectivity, professional competence, professional due care, professional judgment, professional skepticism, and also he should obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence in order to reduce the audit risk. So that is all about SA 200. Then SA 220, that is quality control for an audit of financial statements. This essay gives a guidance to the auditor to maintain a quality work of audit. So to maintain a quality control, he has to perform certain procedures. That is, like he has to maintain a proper procedure for acceptance and continuing the client relationship. He has to follow certain ethical requirements while doing the audit. He has to look into his auditor's responsibility. So these are the procedures that he has to follow to have a quality work of an auditor financial statement. Then SA 350, that is identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding its entity and its environment. So what is risk? Risk is something that is associated with negative outcome. So audit also has its own risk, which comprises of inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. So the auditor has to determine or identify what is the risk involved in the audit. So in order to identify those risks, the auditor has to perform certain risk assessment procedures, which involves inquiry, inspection, observation, and analytical procedure. So by performing this procedure, auditor will get a detailed understanding of the entity and its environment. Like what is the objective of the entity, what is the scope of the entity, how much amount they have invested in the any new project or not, about its accounting policies followed, about its accounting estimates. So the auditor will get a detailed understanding by performing those risk assessment procedure. So after identifying those risk assessment procedure, after identifying those risks, he will able to assess or evaluate the risk. Evaluate the risk and assess whether that particular risk is pervasive or not, whether that particular identified risk is like affect any material misstatement, a likelihood of material misstatement, etc. Then comes SA 260. SA 260 gives a guidance to the auditor that what are the matters to be communicated with those charged with governance, that is TCWG or management, while conducting an audit. So what are the matters to be communicated? The auditor can communicate auditor responsibility with respect to audit of financial statement. He can communicate ethical requirement that he has to follow while doing an audit. He can communicate some significant difficulties that may encounter during the audit, like difficulty in obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence or some information, etc., and also the weakness in internal control. So these are the matters that the auditor has to communicate with the TCWG while doing the audit of financial statement. And how this communication has to be done? This communication can be done either in oral or written form, or in structured or unstructured form, or either in detailed or summarized form. Okay, but the only thing that the auditor has to do is he has to communicate each and every matter with TCWG on timely basis. Okay, that is what 260 says about it. Then comes SA 570, that is going concern. Going concern is a fundamental assumption. Okay, so when financial statements are prepared, it should be prepared on the assumption that going concern is appropriately followed by the management or not. So when the auditor conducts the audit, he has to properly determine whether the going concern assumption is properly followed or not. If it is not followed, then he has to inquire with the manager why that is so. If it is followed, like properly followed, then there is no problem. He can discuss with the manager. But if the assumption is not appropriately inappropriate assumption is followed by the entity, then the auditor has to inquire why that is so. He has to perform certain additional auditor procedure, like inquire with the management why that is so, or ask for the future audit plans. So like that, he has to perform some additional audit procedure so that he can get the conclusion, which is his audit evidence, through which he will be able to so that he will be able to conclude that whether the assumption followed by the entity is appropriate or not. Whether it is appropriately followed by the management, then he can give unqualified opinion, unmodified opinion. Whether it is not appropriately followed, if it is not appropriately followed, then he has to report that particular matter under the head going concern in the auditor's report. And the third circumstance is that the going concern assumption followed by the management is appropriate, but there exists some material uncertainty. In such a case, the auditor has to check whether that particular matter has disclosed by the management under notes to account. If the answer is yes, that they have disclosed that matter in the notes to account, then he can give unmodified opinion. In case that particular matter has not disclosed by the management appropriately, then he has to give adverse or modified opinion as per the professional judgment. Then comes SA 700, that is forming an opinion and reporting on financial statement. This essay generally deals with the structure of audit report. So this is the basic structure of audit report. So let us discuss in detail. First element of audit report is title, which clearly indicates that it is the independent auditor's report. Then second element is addressee. Mainly it is addressed to the person whom it is prepared for, like mainly to the members of the entity. Then comes opinion. Opinion is the first section of the auditor's report, which is exclusively dealt under SA 700 and SA 705. Under opinion section, auditor has to disclose certain matters. The first thing that he has to disclose is the name of the entity for which the audit was conducted. Then he has to disclose what the financial statement comprises of. He should just mention what are the statement that comprises of. Then last matter that he has to disclose is as per which section the audit has been conducted. So these are the main three matters that the opinion section, under opinion section, the auditor should disclose. Next element is basis of opinion. Under basis of opinion, the auditor should disclose certain matters, like on what basis the opinion has given to the financial statement. So he has to disclose whether the audit was conducted as per standards on auditing, or he has to state whether he has complied with code of ethics issued by ICAI. Whether he has fulfilled ethical requirement, any ethical requirement, and also he has to also state that whether he has obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence to form an opinion. So these are the four major matters or major things that an auditor has to disclose under the element basis of opinion. Then next element of audit report is going concern. As I have already discussed what is going concern as per SA 570. So if there is inappropriateness, that the going concern inappropriateness with respect to going concern assumption followed by the management, then that particular matter the auditor has to disclose under this head going concern. Then key audit matter. Key audit matter is as per SA 701 that I will be discussing in detail in the upcoming slides. Then emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph 2 as per SA 706, that too I will be discussing in the upcoming slides. Then comes management responsibility. Under management responsibility, the management has to accept the responsibility of preparation and presentation of financial statements, and they have also need to accept the responsibility of internal control, because that will help to determine that whether the financial statements prepared are free from material misstatement. And also under the management responsibility, the management has to accept both terms with respect to preparation and presentation of financial statement as well as with respect to internal control. So that will help the users to understand on what premise the audit has been conducted. Then comes auditor's responsibility. Under auditor's responsibility, the first thing the auditor has to mention is the overall objective of an independent auditor that I have already discussed under SA 200. What is the overall objective? To obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from material misstatement, and to report on the financial statement and to communicate it as per essays. So first thing he has to mention under auditor's responsibility is the objective, and then he has to disclose that though he has obtained reasonable assurance, which is a high level of assurance, he cannot guarantee that financial statements are completely free from material misstatement, and there may exist some material misstatement which may be due to fraud or error. So likewise, he has to give a para under the auditor's responsibility, and he can also disclose like he has complied with the ethical requirements, or he has exercised professional skepticism, etc. Then comes other reporting responsibility. Under other reporting responsibility, the auditor has to disclose any legal or ethical requirement that he has complied while doing the audit of financial statement. For example, that the company has kept proper books of account, like the financial statement that they have prepared is free from material statement. Like that, the auditor has to give some reporting under other reporting responsibility. Then comes signature of audit, place of signature, and date of report. So this is the basic structure of audit report. So let us see this structure with the audit report. That is, I have chosen the report of Infosys for the financial year 1920. So are you able to see this report? Are you able to see?
Yes.
Okay. So I will discuss that audit report. So first element of this audit report is title. So what the title is? Independent Auditor's Report. Then comes addressee. Whom to it is addressed? So here the auditor is addressing to the members of Infosys Limited. Then comes the opinion section, which is the first section of audit report. So I have already discussed that there are certain matters the auditor has to disclose under this opinion section. So first thing that the auditor has to mention is the name of the entity for which the audit is conducted. So here they have clearly mentioned that they have audited the financial statement of Infosys Limited. Okay. Then the second thing that they have to mention is that what does that financial statement comprises of? So that which comprises of, they have clearly disclosed that which comprises of balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, statement of change in equity, statement of cash flow, summary of significant policies, and other explanatory information. Then I have discussed that they have to, the auditor has to disclose a section under which the audit has been conducted. So here they have clearly mentioned under section 133 of the Act read with the Companies Rule 2015. So as per section 133 of the Companies Act 2013, they have conducted the audit of Infosys Limited. Are you understanding? Vishna, Kirti, are you understanding? Amina, are you understanding?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So let us move to the next element, that is basis for opinion. That too I have explained that under basis of opinion, the auditor has to disclose on what basis the audit has been conducted. So so here the auditor has explained that disclosed that our audit of standalone financial statement is conducted on accounts and standards on auditing, and also they have disclosed that they have for complied with code of ethics issued by ICAI and fulfilled our ethical requirement, and also the audit evidence obtained by us is appropriate to form an audit opinion. So these are the major 4 matters that I have already discussed while explaining this section. So that same thing they have explained under the audit report under the head base of opinion in the auditor's report. Then comes key audit matter. I will express that in detail. Then comes emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph that which is held under SA 706. That too I will be discussing in detail. Then comes management responsibility. Under this section, the management has to accept the responsibility of presentation and preparation of financial statement, also the responsibility of internal control. So that is what is explained in the entire paragraph. Then comes auditor's responsibility. Under auditor's responsibility, the first thing the auditor has to mention is the objective of audit. What is the objective? To obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, and also to issue audit report that includes our opinion. So, and after that he has to disclose that though he has obtained reasonable assurance, which is a high level of assurance, he will not be giving a guarantee that the audit is free. Audit in accounts essay will always detect a material misstatement, which may arise from fraud or error. So here he should also disclose that though he has obtained reasonable assurance, but he cannot give a guarantee on that material mistake on the financial statement. And in this case, the auditor has also disclosed that he has exercised professional judgment, maintained professional skepticism, and some other matters too. Then the next element is other regularity and legal and regulatory requirement. So under this section, the auditor has to disclose some of the legal or ethical requirement that he has complied while conducting an audit of financial statement. So under this section, the auditor disclosed that he has obtained all information and explanation to the best of his knowledge and belief, and proper books of accounts as required by law has been kept by the company, and so on. Then comes the signature of the auditor and the date of audit report. Okay, this is the basic structure of audit report. Are you able to see the PPT?
Yes.
Yes. So let us move on to our subject matters. That is key audit matter. So what is key audit matter? Key audit matter are defined as those matter in the auditor's professional judgment, whereof most significant in the audit of financial statement of the current period. This is actually the definition of key audit matter, and it is important because under the head key audit matter, there is an introduction para. The auditor has to give an introduction para under which the auditor has to define the key audit matter as such. Okay. So what is key audit matter? In simple words, key audit matter means, as I have already discussed SA 260. So as per SA 260, the auditor will be discussing some matters with TCWG. So out of those matters communicated with TCWG, the auditor will selecting some of the most important items and will be reporting as key audit matter, which means that the matters which are not communicated with TCWG will not be a part of key audit matter. And this essay does not require the auditor to update any key audit matter included in the prior period's audit report. Now, applicability of key audit matter. For your knowledge, internationally, this standard became mandatory from 1st January 2017. And this standard is known as CAM, which is pronounced as CAM, which is, the full form of CAM is Critical Audit Matters. Only in India, it is known as Key Audit Matter. Internationally, it is known as Critical Audit Matter. And in India, it became on the 1st April 2018. It became mandatory from 1st April 2018. And it is applicable to all listed companies. In case of listed company, reporting CAM is mandatory. But in case of unlisted company, it is not mandatory, only when the auditor is required by law or regulation, or when the auditor decides to communicate key audit matter is in its report. So in case of unlisted company, it is not mandatory. but in case of listed company, it is mandatory. Then, what is the objective of key audit matter? What is the intention of this key audit matter in the auditor's report? The auditor will be disclosing some important matter in the key audit report in the key audit matter in the auditor's report. So that will help the users to get some extra knowledge, extra understanding about the entity and its environment. So that is the objective of key audit matter. Then comes purpose. What is the purpose of key audit matter? It provides greater transparency about the audit that was performed. So now, while disclosing some important matters, key audit matter provides greater transparency, because by reading those matters, the users will be able to get some extra knowledge, some extra information about the entity and its environment. Then, communicating key audit matter provides the additional information to intended users. So the auditor will be disclosing some of the information which will be related to the entity or related to the audited financial statement. So that will help to get some additional information to the users. Then understanding the entity and areas of significant management. Obviously, the financial statement is prepared by the management. So while preparing the financial statement, they may take some important decisions or judgments or estimates that will be disclosed by the auditor in the QA matter. So it will help the users to get that. So I was discussing communicating CAM is not a substitute of expressing a modified opinion as per SA 705. If the auditor wants to give a modified opinion, he can give it as per SA 705. If the auditor has disclosed some matter as key audit matter, it does not indicate that he has to modify his opinion, or give a separate opinion based on that disclosure. Then, communicating key audit matter is not a substitute of reporting as per SA 570. I have already discussed what SA 570 talks about. It talks about the going concern. So if the auditor found any inappropriateness with regard to going concern, then he can definitely, he has to mandatorily report that particular matter under going concern, under the head going concern in the auditor's report. And also, if he wants, he can disclose the same under key audit matter. But that does not mean that he has reported key audit matter. He should not disclose that particular matter under the head going concern. Then, communicating key audit matter is not a substitute of a separate opinion on individual matter. If the auditor has given disclosure of important matter with respect to in key audit matters or emphasis of matter or in other matter paragraph, that does not mean that the auditor has to give separate opinion on this individual matter. Auditor will give an opinion on the audit report based after considering all the financial statement as a whole. Okay, so if he reports some important matter as key audit matter or emphasis on matter paragraph or other matter paragraph as per SA 706, that does not mean that the auditor has to give separate opinion on the individual matter. So we have gone through what is key audit matter, what are the applicability of key audit matter, what is the purpose of key audit matter. Now the question arises, how to determine key audit matter. So I have already discussed, out of the matter communicated with TCWG, as per auditor's belief and professional judgment, some matters will be selected by the auditor. As per that some of the most important matters will be selected by the auditor, and he will be reporting as key audit matter in the auditor's report. So how to determine whether that is important or not? So let us discuss in detail. So in making this determination, the auditor shall take into account the following: areas of higher assisted risk or material misstatement or significant risk identified in accordance with SA 350. So I have already discussed at the beginning what SA 315 talks about. It talks about identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding its entity and its environment. So by performing this risk assessment procedure, the auditor will be get to know the risk associated with the audit of financial statement. For example, there may be some short-dated risk or related party transaction, or there may be some unusual events or transactions that have occurred during the period. So such kind of transaction or event, the auditor can disclose under the head key audit matter. Then, significant management judgment. Financial statement prepared by the management. So while preparing the financial statement, they may take some important decisions or some change in some accounting policies or create a provision. Like that, they may take some important in the judgment or decisions. So that particular matter, the auditor can disclose as pre-audit matter. For example, a provision of liabilities and charges, taxes, fair value, etc. The next one is significant events or transactions that have occurred during the period. There may take some important events or transaction or some unusual events or transaction. So that events or transaction can also, the auditor can report under the head key audit matter. So this is how the auditor has to determine key audit matter. This is just a crux of what I have explained in the earlier slide, that is how to determine key audit matter. So let us assume that the outer circle, the biggest outer circle, as per SC 260, the matter communicated, the auditor has communicated communicated matter with TCWG. So let us assume that some 50 matters he has communicated with TCWG. Out of that 50 matters, as per his professional judgment and belief, some 20 items he has taken and kept in the second innermost circle. That is matters that require significant auditor attention. Out of the 20 items, he has taken some 7 items as most important matter. And that 7 items he has reported as key audit matter. Okay. So let us move on to the next slide, that is communicating key audit matter. So the auditor has determined how to understood how to determine key audit matter. Now, how to communicate that matter in the auditor's report. So I have already discussed where the key audit matter head will be placed in the auditor report. So under that main head as a key audit matter, the auditor has to give introduction para, and the first sentence of the introduction para should be the definition itself. That is what is explained here. Key audit matters are those matters that in the auditor's professional judgment were of more significant in the audit of financial statement. So as a first sentence, the definition of key audit matter should be given by the auditor. The next sentence, he should state that the financial statement has been audited as a whole and he has given an opinion, but does not provide a separate opinion on these matters. Like he has reported some matters as scam does not mean that that will modify his opinion. So that is explained here. These matters were addressed in the context of audit of financial statement as a whole and in forming the auditor's opinion thereon, and the auditor does not provide a separate opinion on this matter. Then after that, he has to disclose each key audit matter that he has selected from the matters communicated with TCWG and explain why he has chosen that particular matter as key audit matter, and also the audit procedure that he has followed to satisfy himself with respect to this key audit matter. So this is the way to communicate key audit matter in the auditor's report. Now, documentation. So, how to document this key audit matter? So, in case of listed company, it is mandatory to report key audit matter. If in case the auditor does not have any key audit matter to report in the auditor's report, he can't keep the heading key audit matter. He should state that there is no key audit matter, and also explain the same thing in the also discuss the same thing with the TCWG. And in case if there is key audit matter, as I have already discussed how to determine key audit matter and communicate key audit matter. So you see, this was all about SA 701, that is communicating key audit matter in the independent auditor's report. So I have already discussed the structure of audit report. Now I am going to discuss emphasis of matter para and other matter para as per SA 703, which will be placed after key audit matter. So, what is emphasis of matter paragraph? A para included in the auditor's report that refers to a matter appropriately reflected or disclosed in the financial statement that in the auditor's judgment is of significance, that is fundamental to the user's understanding of the financial statement. So it is also a para that is included in the auditor's report, but that particular matter is already disclosed in the financial statement. So the management has disclosed that same matter in the financial statement. So now the auditor just highlight that some important matter the management has disclosed in the financial statement. What is the requirement? Emphasis of matter para is not a substitute of key audit matter. if the auditor has disclosed some under the head emphasis matter para, that does not mean that it is a substitute for key audit matter. Emphasis of matter para should be included with a separate section titled as emphasis of matter. So I have already discussed that it should be disclosed under the head emphasis of matter para after key audit matter. Then emphasis of matter para refer to information presented or disclosed in the financial statement. So that is something that is already disclosed by the management. So now the auditor is just highlighting that there is some important matter which is disclosed already by the management. For example, assume that the entity has some legal case they have some pending legal case. So the management has disclosed in the notes to account that we have some legal case, and if we lose the case, we have to pay some one product penalty. So while doing the audit, the auditor will discuss the same thing with the management, and they will disclose this particular matter particular matter in the emphasis of matter para by referring to a note number. This is how the emphasis of matter para has to be disclosed in the auditor report. Then it must be indicated that auditor opinion is not modified in respect of this matter. If the auditor gives some matter as emphasis of matter, does not mean that his opinion will get modified, because single opinion will be given by the auditor after considering all the financial statements as a whole. Circumstances when EOM para can be issued. Uncertain situation as to future outcome of expectational litigation, significant subsequent event, earlier application of new AS in advance of its effective date, occurrence of major catastrophe that may have a significant effect on its entity financial position. So that was all about emphasis of matter para. Now let us discuss other matter paragraph. So that is a para included in the auditor's report that refers to matter other than presented or disclosed in the financial statement that in the auditor's judgment relevant for the user's understanding of auditor's responsibilities or audit report. So that too a para included in the auditor's report, but it is other than those disclosed or presented in financial statement. So some important matter which is not disclosed in the financial statement, but it is important to disclose in the auditor's report. So let us discuss the same with the audit report. Are you able to see the audit report?
Yes.
Yes. So this is the audit report of State Bank of India. So here the auditor has given disclose something under other matter para. So this is that. So here the auditor has mentioned that he was actually doing the audit of central office. Now he has mentioned that he has not audited 14,796 branches included in the standalone financial statement. So he is just giving information to the users that out of this 14,796 branches, he has not audited any of the branches. He is just using the work of branch auditors that has been already audited. So he is just using the work of branch auditors, and by giving this opinion, his opinion will not get modified. Okay, so that is what is other matter paragraph. Something which is important but not disclosed in the financial statement by the management. What is the requirement? OM para is not a substitute of key audit matter, which is never it cannot indicate a substitute of key audit matter, and other matter para should be included in the audit report in a separate section termed as other matter, that I have already discussed. So that was all about SA 706, that is emphasis of matter para and other matter para in the independent auditor's report. Now let us discuss the difference between emphasis of matter para and key audit matter. So key audit matter is highlighting more significant matter out of the matter communicated to TCWG. But what is emphasis of matter para? It is the highlighting information in financial statement which is significant for user understanding. This is a single difference between emphasis of matter para and key audit matter. Key audit matter gives information about the audit process. As I have already discussed, the auditor has to disclose why that matter is important to the auditor, why he has reported that particular matter is key audit matter, and also he has to explain the audit procedure that he has performed with respect to that particular matter. Whereas emphasis of matter gives information about financial statement. Key audit matter is placed after the base of opinion para or going concern para. So it is placed after the base of opinion para or going concern para, whereas emphasis matter para is placed directly either before or after key audit matter para based on the auditor's judgment as to relative significance of the information included in emphasis matter para. So that emphasis matter para will be placed either directly before or after key audit matter para as per the importance. I have already discussed this audit report of Infosys Limited. Now we will discuss the key audit matter. So there is a main heading for the key audit matter. Under that, the first line should be the heading. The key audit matters are those matters in the auditor's professional judgment that are more significant in our audit of standalone financial statement of the current period. Then he has to discuss that he will not change his opinion as per this disclosure. Then after that, he has to disclose each and every key audit matter, like why it is important that he has disclosed here, and the audit procedure with respect to this particular key audit matter. So here in this audit report, there are two key audit matters. So let us discuss this. Allowance for credit losses. So under this audit report, the auditor is explaining that due to COVID-19, the sale made by this Infosys to customers may not be they may not be able to recover due to this COVID-19. So they have created a provision of debtors. So that is what is explained in this audit report. And the auditor is also explaining the audit procedure with relating to this audit matter. Then comes emphasis of matter. As I have discussed, emphasis of matter means highlighting something which is already discussed in the financial statement. So the auditor is giving the note number to the standard and plan. So he is referring to some note number with respect to that disclosure which is already made by the management. So if you have any doubt, you can please ask. So thank you all for your patience listening.